I wanted to just talk briefly. We talk about the Chinese Revolution and Mao. We talk about the Russian Revolution and Lenin. The first communist uprising that ever happened, the first, I guess, dictatorship of the proletariat, if you want to quote Marx, was actually the Paris Commune of 1871. This was a workers' uprising in Paris, and at that time, the Prussians were invading, and the French government surrendered. But there were workers in Paris, and they said, we don't want to be taken over. And so, to defend the gains of the French Revolution, they rose up and took control of their city. They immediately guaranteed religious freedom. They abolished night work. They replaced the police with a militia among the people. They immediately suspended rent. They provided pensions to the families of soldiers who'd been killed in the war. They reopened the abandoned factories under working control. They burned the guillotine, which was a symbol of terror and repression. And they actually rewrote the words to the French national anthem, making the chorus like this. They said, "In the name of liberty, let us defend our city. March on, without any rulers, the people will have bread." That was the lyrics that they rewrote to the French national anthem. And I know nowadays we see it a lot on television in various places. We see the fist, right? We know about the fist, right? People say black power, or they say right on, or cool, or something like that. Well, where did it come from, right? Well, this comes from the Paris Commune. After the Paris Commune was being smashed, they were lining up all of the communards and executing them one by one and then dumping their bodies into shallow graves. Among the communards, there were some of them that had the idea to do this as they were being shot. So they would stand there and put their fists like this. And then their body would be dumped into shallow graves. And then rigorous mortima would take effect. And those who had shot them looked on in horror as the fists came up out of the ground. That's what the fist stands for. That's the origin of that salute. So next time you hear somebody saying that, and that tradition continued. And during the Second World War, when resistance fighters, and they never take, we hear about La Resistance, right, in France. That was communists, right? When they would line up La Resistance fighters to be shot, they would raise their fists, and a lot of times they actually shouted, "Stalin!" That was, because that was the name, the face that struck terror into the eyes of their Nazi executors.